know you'll all have a number of questions you want to ask me, and I'm happy to try to answer as many of these as I can. What I will say up front, though, is that I'm not going to go into any detail that impinges on my police investigation. There are many questions that I would want to be able to answer, and in the fullness of time I hope I will answer, but it would be wrong and inappropriate for me to get into any detail that is related to what the police are currently investigating. Beyond that, happy to answer your questions. It's, I think, fair to say this is not the easiest time. I'm not saying that for sympathy, it is what it is. But I'm determined to get on with the job that I am doing. I'm working from home, have been working from home. You've all got colleagues outside my house, so you probably know that. I've been in my constituency. It's good to be back here in Parliament, and I'm going to go on with representing my constituents.
Have you been questioned by the police yet?
No.
Do you expect to be questioned
As
by
a matter,
the police?
I'm not going to get into any aspect of the police investigation.
Have you ever had a burner phone? Have you ever had a burner phone?
No.
What is going on, First Minister? A lot of your supporters really want to know what is really happening at the moment.
Look, one of the frustrating things just now, and I'm not complaining about this, I understand the process that is underway, but one of the frustrating aspects of that is that I'm not able to give my version of what is going on just now. Hopefully the time will come when I can do that, so I appreciate the concern, I appreciate the frustration, but that is the nature of the process that is underway right now.
Do you owe Humza Yousaf an apology for the state you've handed the party to him in?
I think Humza's doing, in very, very difficult circumstances, an outstanding job. I have become ever more convinced, and I was already convinced of this, that he's going to be a very fine First Minister. I understand the view that some people might have, that I knew this was all about to unfold and that's why I walked away. Nothing could be further from the truth. I could not have anticipated in my worst nightmares what would have unfolded over the past few weeks. I believe the SNP, notwithstanding the real difficulties that surrounds the party just now, is in good shape, and I think Humza will take it to even better things.
But are you saying you didn't know the state of the party you were handing on as leader?
Look, the party that I led for 8 years was successful beyond precedence in Scottish politics.
But that's not the party you've handed on to Humza Yousaf, is it?
I believe the SNP, as you know, we will see in times to come, is a successful party. All parties after 16 years in government will have issues that it needs to confront. I'm not talking about the specific issues that we're talking about right now, and the SNP will renew as it has done in the past, and I believe the SNP is a party in touch with the people of Scotland, delivering for the people of Scotland, and I think it will go on to great.
Did you know about the camper van, for example? Did you know about the camper van, for example?
Look, I am not going to go into anything that is subject to police investigation. Clearly the camper van is in that category, and I'm not going to go into
did you know
these
about
things.
it?
I'm not going to get into any aspect of things that the police are investigating.
The auditors quit and you didn't tell anyone. It's been kept secret from even your current Westminster party leader.
Well, can I say the issue with Westminster accounts is separate to the issue with party auditors. These are two separate accounts that are audited separately.
It was kept secret from your deputy, SNP leader as well.
On the issue of the auditors, and again, I fully appreciate that people, and I don't think this is surprising, or people are seeing that through the prism of what has happened over the past few weeks. But the auditors stepped down from representing the SNP as part, not because of the police investigation, but as part of a review of their own business. And a process was underway to appoint new auditors. A procurement was underway. So while people are seeing that now through the prism of recent events, at the time there was nothing untoward in that process of appointing new auditors.
Nicola, is this your worst nightmare?
Look, the last few weeks have been very, very difficult, and I don't think anybody would believe me if I said anything other than that. I've had, many difficult periods in a political career that has lasted over several decades now. I think you can safely say that the last few weeks have been amongst the most difficult. But it is what it is, and I accept that. I accept the process. I hope to be able to stand before you. Well, I don't want to overstate it, of course. Standing before you is always I won't say what standing before you always is, but I hope to be able to stand before you and address many of these questions fully. I can't do that just now for reasons you understand. I also hope to be able to put a counter to many of the things that are being said right now, but I'm going to respect the process that is underway. That's not something that will surprise you to hear. And in the meantime, I'm going to go on with doing my job, representing my
Do you intend to
constituents.
stay?
Yes.
Did this play any role in your decision to quit as First Minister?
No, it didn't. The police investigation was underway. It was known about, so there was no secret in that. The reasons I stepped down as First Minister were the reasons I set out in Butte House in the middle of February. Of course, I understand that people are now looking back on that and saying, well, was there something more to it? There wasn't. If you are saying to me, back then, or at any time until it happened, I could have anticipated what happened, almost 3 weeks ago. The answer is no. I didn't and couldn't have done.
So were you surprised when the police arrived on your doorstep then?
I think you can probably take the answer to that as yes.
Have you had any discussions with Humza Yousaf in particular about your membership in the party?
No.
You sound very emotional. How does this made you all feel?
Look, it's been. I don't really want to get into this because this is not an opportunity for me to say, poor me for this. This is a serious process. Obviously serious issues are being looked at, and I respect and will continue to respect that process every step of the way. But clearly the events of the last few weeks have been difficult, and I use this word advisedly and deliberately, in some respects very traumatic. But I accept that is the nature of the process that is underway right now. And I will continue to take, each day as it comes, I will continue to go on with doing my job, and I hope to be in a position at some stage where I can talk more openly about all of these different issues, the detail of them and how it has all been.
Did anyone in Police Scotland give you advance notice that there would be a knock at the door, that the investigation was heading for your address?
No.
Nicola House, Peter.
I think, as you would expect, it's difficult, but like me, respecting the process that's underway.
Have you spoken to Humza Yousaf since Peter was arrested?
No, I'm sure I will. Humza, and I've got an insight into this aside, I've got an insight from personal experience into how busy, how eventful and how all-consuming and absorbing becoming First Minister is. And Humza, even without this, has had a few weeks that will have been very eventful for him. I will speak to Humza in due course. All I will say about Humza right now is I think in very difficult circumstances he is doing an outstanding job as First Minister, and he continues to have my full support.
Was there a problem with secrecy and a lack of transparency under your leadership?
Look, I think that's for other people to judge now. I fully support the action that Humza and the National Executive Committee have taken. I'm never going to be, objective in answering questions about my leadership. Nobody is. That's human nature. I'm proud of my leadership of the SNP and what it achieved electorally, for the SNP, but other people will judge these things. As I said earlier on, if there is a frustration on my part, it's that I can't talk openly about some of this right now, given the nature of the process, but hopefully there will come a day when I can do that more. Okay, one more question.
Nicola, if the auditors resigned in September, why wasn't the party told at the time?
Sorry, I'm not sure if you heard my answer to that question to Andrew. I think it was to Andrew a moment ago. I understand that people are seeing that through the prism of recent events, but at the time the auditors stood down from representing the SNP because they had reviewed their business. I don't know whether there were other clients they did similar to at the time. There was a process underway to replace the auditors. At that time that was nothing unusual or untoward. It was a process of replacing one auditor.
Shouldn't others in the party have been told though?
The National Treasurer was involved in a process to procure new auditors. You can apply, and I'm not sort of complaining about this. I understand why people are applying hindsight to a lot of this, but at the time that was not something that was untoward. Right,
Just
I'm going
a
to
quick one.
change